I recorded a 14-minute video about this and I wanted to drop it at the same time as Notion, but I had my mic muted. Classic mistake, I suppose. I've done it multiple times and I cannot remember to double check, but I will. Maybe I need a Notion checkbox. Anyway, timeline view, Notion update, huge Notion update with a timeline view, with hiding and showing properties, with advanced permissions in databases and limiting database rows. So pumped, so pumped, so pumped, so pumped, so excited. So, how about we just dig in and I'll show you. So I'll show you in this video. Obviously the how it looks, how it feels. You can try it on your own, but then more importantly, how or not importantly, interestingly, I guess, or maybe curiously, is how we at Optimization have been using the timeline view. And just to clarify, I am part of Notion Ambassadors. That's why we had access earlier and kind of had some time to figure it out. Anyway, so timeline view right here. So this is our marketing page in the company, and for context, Optimization is an agency, so digital operations agency. We work with a lot of clients and produce a lot of content. So on the content end, here it is, the timeline, and what we're tracking here is all the content that we produce. As you can see, the title is right here, the type of content, and then on the timeline, beautiful timeline view. And let me go full screen for you. All the content pieces are visualized, and we can see a couple other things here. So you can see the person who has created this record, what's the status of this record. So honestly, this is not supposed to, it's on the backlog, so it's actually supposed to maybe ship one day later. So I don't know, let's move it over to, why is this dragging? Hold on, let's move it up. This is a bug. Well, that's what you get with new features. There's a bug, so I can't drag this guy, but I can go ahead and change it here. And this is going to be a nice segue because timeline by. So that's one of the main settings for this. You can go ahead and timeline by and select the dates that you want to be timeline by. I said that so many times, but listen. So we have it as started as the promotion dates property that you just saw, and then the end date is the formula for the end date. And primarily, the cool thing is that you can use separate dates to calendar or to timeline by. So that's the same way. That works the same way as in the calendar view or in the board view. You can select the properties that the content is arranged upon. So that's pretty cool. The reason I do like to enter the dates in one property, but I do also want to sometimes use this filter where I can see, the end date. So everything that is on or after today, and then anything that actually the end date is still ongoing. So that's where I would change this to 1 month from now. So that's all the content that's either coming up today or is long lasting as the super organizers wiki. So anyway, beyond that, let me change that because I do like to see the other one, or actually I can just get rid of it. Remember with the timeline view is that it's not automatically sorted by chronologically. So with sorts, you do have to say promotion dates ascending, and then nothing showed up. Why did nothing show up? What you can do beyond that also in properties is something that you weren't able to do in any Notion view or database is to hide the table, and this is hiding the table. So you can see just the timeline view in its full glory, but I do like the table, and I do like the name of the property and the type out there. It does show up also right here, and it seems like I cannot toggle that off for some reason. No, I can. What am I talking about? Anyway, I did toggle that off. Anyway, so we have I've talked about the basics of it. In this marketing view, you saw this is a view for said timeline. And let's go ahead and actually open this, and I'll show you a peek. And we'll make this a template soon, but the way this content stuff works is that we've got all the relevant properties up here, and then the content that we're referencing or creating right here, couple of tasks, and then the actual blog post. This is the blog post that you're going to see. One way that we're using this, another way, so beyond marketing, the other way is, as I said, we're an agency business, so we work with a lot of clients. And the way we'll talk about oh, my teammate Valentine, and by we is just two of us. We are an agency business, so we work with a lot of clients. And the way the workflow or the sales thing goes is like somebody sees me on Twitter at Optimization, then they go onto optimization.com, the website, they book a meeting, that triggers a bunch of zaps that go automate, and then eventually we have a meeting, and then within that meeting, I just make sure that we're in agreement on the potential budget, on the scope, on the timeline, on like what exactly needs to be done. And I do have a template for that. I'll include it later somewhere, but it's essentially, I mean, why don't I can just show it. It's called New Discovery, and yeah, so it's basically like a set of standard questions for a discovery call. And this is not, so we're gonna put it into a template, but this part is going to be included in something else that we'll call Maker or Startup or Agency OS. So anyway, after this meeting is done, then I go ahead into and create this proposal. And people do slide decks, people do PDFs. I do it in Notion, because Notion is Notion. Notion's the best. So anyway, this is not actually going to be there. So Valentine's gonna freak out, but I'm gonna actually delete it for a second. And he's like, oh no. But anyway, so how that works, and let me text him real quick just to explain myself. Okay, yes, sorry, back here. He's like super confused what happened. Anyway, so what we do is recap the conversation with the pains and the goals, and then go ahead and outline the, and now I'm gonna bring it back. There we are. And then we outline the deliverables. So here is the title of the deliverable, how long it takes, how much it costs, what's the high level overview, and then the details, relevant details, as well as the meetings. And then we have a handy button that is actually that templatized all the column layout, which is nice. So then beyond that, we have the timeline. So when I was filming my first video, this guy got reset or something happened. So I'm going to change this real quick. Don't sing the contract, sign the contract. So anyway, now here is the timeline that we propose to the client, and we say here when you'll sign the contract and the deposit, so formally the start date, and then we'll go through a set of meetings and deliverables, and billing dates, which are indicated with these emojis. You can also trigger the primary label, so in case it's you want to visualize it a little bit different. But I personally don't love it, especially the the arrangement. So anyway, yeah, I think the emoji speaks for themselves. So we outline that, and the way we outline it is in timeline view. And timeline view should be the second one, and I'll tell you why in a second. But let's open that timeline view in its full glory, and what you'll see here is all of those records are outlined, and you can see the dates, you can see the range, you can see the date, the day of the week, and that's a super simple formula. And then the duration. So the duration should match what you've outlined in the section above. So that is 2 weeks in this case, 24 days for some reason here, starting on Saturday. That just does not sound right. Oh, I know why it doesn't sound right, because this project starts on December 4th, and I've just changed that. And that is a big part. When you're scoping out a project, or even if you're in the thick of it, in the middle of it, things change. So you might have to adjust the timeline. And before that, what you'd have to do is go into calendar view and then adjust one by one, go into this, drag it around. Nightmare. What you can do now is this. Command A to select them all, and just drag it over. So say that this project, we wanted to start it on December 4th, but then things happened, everyone likes us, we started on November 15th. Bada bing, bada boom, everything, all the dates have adjusted accordingly. and that is awesome. And the duration has maintained. What I'm then gonna do is like, okay, Saturday is no good, so let me just make a change here for Friday, and then yada yada yada. So that magic of like having to just drag around the whole timeline and have it magically adjust is just mwah mwah. All right, so that's the timeline view. I do, as I said, keep this as the list view because it's just easier to read and interact with. And so remember, the first view up here is going to be the one that the client sees at the very first load of the page. They can see the timeline view, they can see the calendar view, but the list view is just cleaner. All right, so beyond the timeline, then we've got the pricing. It's just a simple quote that I highlight and say, okay, we've got X amount of dollars on Y amount of time broken up as follows. And what I do is take a linked database view of that project calendar, but filter it by the billing dates, and then say, okay, here's the billing date, here's the amount, here's the range of the project, just to, I guess, summarize it, and then here's the total sum. So that is in their mind like, oh, okay, I get it. When I'm going to charge, how I'm going to how I'm going to get charged. So, well, not how, but when and how much. Yes. And so that's pretty handy to like summarize the costs aspects of it. And then beyond that, we've got the references, so I take a couple clients that relevant ones, and I say, hey, call them, email them, text them, whatever you can, and just ask if I'm good, which I am. So that is, or me and Valentine. So that is handy. And then finally, the next steps is kind of this like a little call to action thingy, like, well, I'm gonna say, okay, we sent the NDA like last week, sending a proposal today, these are both complete, so now we're gonna send the contract. And in my mind, and I have no idea if this works, but it's kind of like okay, we're getting closer to starting and making you efficient and whatever. So it's just like, oh, like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop. But you get the point. 66% complete. Let's go. Let's get it to 100, and get going. So that is the whole proposal. This is going to be a template. You can duplicate it. We're going to put it on Gumroad. Our first template we released last week was free. It was downloaded 270 times. You could leave some donations. This one we think is pretty cool. So we're going to put up a $5 price tag. You could put in more if you like, but $5 is the minimum. What else? Oh, let me show you how this looks complete. So what I do is in Figma design a nice little cover with a logo of the client. I'm also going to templatize that. And then I summarize the call. As I said, bam, bam, like quick couple points. Then we've got the nice deliverable layout. As you can see here, I like summarize the main things, the meetings. Then here's the timeline. But here, important thing to note. So all of these properties, when I create them, they have a couple things assigned to them. So the person, the date, and then the primary and then the secondary tags. Then I've got this piece, which is the linked database to my actual calendar. So this is a local calendar that is relevant to this proposal. This calendar is the big calendar. This is the optimization calendar that has everything. So all the meetings, all the deliverables, dates, etc., and many people involved. Once it loads, when hopefully at some point today, of this month, this year, whatever. Yes, so that's, you see, giant calendar. So we don't really use it. We use a bunch of linked database views. But point is that once the project closes, what you can do is duplicate this so that this always stays on the proposal. But then you duplicate this, and once it successfully duplicates within a certain time frame, you can go ahead and take these and then drag them over to this calendar. And before I do that, know that this is filtered by this project. So Notion Cleanup is the project that I'm proposing this for. And so I'm going to drag them over. And ding, this is added. Now, with each deliverable, all of the properties are maintained, and this is assigned to the project. So in the project page, you'll see, and I've hidden this, but you'll see all of this stuff magically appear. Awesome. Fantastic. Great. That's it, I think, for the proposal. I am going to delete these because these are not this project has actually been lost. Not lost, but client didn't want to pursue this. I don't know why. You win some, you lose some. Emails. Okay. Please, I'll try to blur it out. Okay, well, you have seen also, so these are the two things. It's going to be a template. You can grab it, copy it, have fun with it, propose things, don't propose things, close clients, hopefully. And while we're at it, this is 15 minutes, I guess that's okay. But while we're at it, I'm also going to show you really quick the other things or features. So the big one is the database things, which, great description, Tim. It's hiding and showing databases and a little bit refined permissions. So once this loads, I'm going to show you, or you actually just seen it. But for projects, we have a bunch of properties, and now you can hide them, and that's awesome. You don't have to stare at this giant thing and just be like, oh, I don't want to scroll. No, you can just see whatever is relevant to see. And one thing to note about these is that when you customize page, you can hide on two levels or settings. You can always hide, or you can hide when empty. So hide when empty, I do sometimes. I don't remember where or why, but I do that. You can also hide all the properties. So the reason this is this way is because it is actually a public on our website, which, by the way, everything in projects is public on our website, which is the way I set it up. But if something I want to take off from the website, I go ahead to this new option of sharing, and I toggle this specific record off. And it tells me restrict access. I say yes, and boom, this is gone. Let me show you, and I'm gonna resize the window really quick. Give me a second. Doom, 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 doom. This took longer than I expected. Boom. Okay, Twitter. Hi, Twitter. Optimization.com. Work. So yeah, you see Zapper content is right here. So I have not tested this, but hopefully, in theory, it will disappear, or it will say unknown page, or something will happen one day. Nope. I think, okay, I know why. So the host for this domain, Super, is probably not aware of these new features. So they're going to update it. But point is this: once this is updated, this will be gone. But I don't want it to be gone, so I am going to restore it. Anyway, so that is all. The last thing is I say that is all, and then there's last thing, like Apple style. There's also the small thing of limiting database rows. So this is my daily dashboard, and what you can now do is in properties on first load, select how many pages you see. So that is where you have a lot of records, so you can just change the setting. I don't find it's that useful because I generally have proper filters that filter this out, and so that's pretty great for me. You see, this is very minimal daily dashboard. When it comes to my bigger bridge dashboard / command center thing, I also have a bunch of filters that filter the content. I could see this may be useful with my Scratchpad, which is like a notepad that's connected to all of the projects. There's a lot of records, even because it's filtered in the past week, so I might institute this little 10 pages thingy. Not sure if it's super useful, but maybe. I'll actually not, because I like to see all these things. That is it on all the changes, all the new features. Let's go. Super excited. I think people are going to have a kick out of the proposal. So watch out for in the description a Gumroad link, and let me do a little zoom here. So description wise, you'll see the Gumroad link to the proposal template that I just shown you. You will see a link to the blog post that details all of this stuff, and that's it. That's a wrap for the third YouTube video that I'm posting. So excited. Finally, mic unmuted. Hopefully everything is good. Yeah, to get the update, Notion will give you a little blue bar. You click that and you are updated. Enjoy timeline view, enjoy hiding properties, enjoy showing properties, and refining database permissions. I think that's it. That all sounds mighty nerdy, but fun. So bye, and I will see you later on the fourth video, which I don't know what I'll release.